How you doing?
I'm good. My name is Deepti and I'm a pharmacist.
Okay.
My technician just told me that you have some questions about vaccines. How can I help you?
Yes, I've got some questions. It's my son's pediatrician says it's time for his round of shots, and he's just 6 months old. He's never had any of these shots in, and my wife and I we're freaking out. We're not sure. We're just really bugged by this.
Okay. Well, I'm very sorry to hear that this is freaking you out. What about it is making you uncomfortable? Maybe we can start there.
Well, I've heard a lot of things about vaccines, about how vaccines can cause autism, and I just found out that our niece was just diagnosed with autism, and it's just something that's really weighing on us, and we don't want to give our kid autism, and we're bugged by this.
Oh my gosh, well I'm very sorry to hear about your niece. That is a very difficult situation that your family is in, so my heart goes out to you.
Thank you.
I can completely understand why you and your wife are really concerned about the risk of autism given your niece's recent diagnosis.
Yeah.
As far as autism, what I would tell you is that really there is no evidence that links autism to vaccines. But when you think about the timing of autistic diagnosis, that usually happens when children receive their vaccinations.
Okay.
So there is that correlation possibility there. There was one study that actually looked at autism and vaccines, and that study did show that there was a link. However, later on,
That's the one I read.
yeah, that particular study was retracted because it turned out that the investigator was was misrepresenting the data that they had.
Oh.
So subsequently, all the studies that have been done have not shown the link. However, this is your child, and and definitely a decision that you have to make that is educated and informed. From my end, what I worry about more is the impact of these preventable childhood diseases on your child should he be infected. For instance, did you hear about the recent measles outbreak that happened in Disneyland?
Oh, the
last
Disneyland
year?
thing. Yeah, I heard about that.
Yeah. So that particular outbreak happened because there was one unvaccinated child that was infected with measles. He subsequently, or she, I'm not sure, subsequently infected 125 other people.
Wow.
So that's how these outbreaks can happen.
Saw that on the news.
And you can, and then children can then experience devastating damage to their kidneys or to their brain. Worldwide, for example, measles causes about 164,000 deaths per year.
Whoa.
So it is staggering.
Yeah,
And so
didn't know
those
that.
kind of and so those kind of complications, in particular brain damage or any kind of damage that is irreversible, is what I would worry about for your son rather than the side effects of vaccines. The side effects, I would say, are generally mild. So what you can expect for your son is potentially some redness, some pain where he gets his injection, and then potentially your son could have a mild fever. That is really the extent of what I would expect would happen and what you might experience as a family. But I know it's a lot of information to throw at you at once. So what do you think so far? Is this helping with the discomfort that you were describing earlier?
It's good information. It's helpful, but I'm not really convinced yet. I have to talk this over with my wife some more. I'm not really convinced yet.
Okay, and this is a big decision for your family. This could impact what happens with your son as well as your wife. So it's certainly something that I would say make that educated decision. I do have some materials that I can share with you, so you and your wife can read through that. Another thing that you might consider is actually having your child vaccinated with just a few at a time and see how he does with that. And that might be one way that you can kind of allay some of the feelings that you're having towards vaccines.
It's a good idea.
So if you're willing to try that, you might. My recommendation, however, is that go through the childhood vaccines as is directed by the CDC, because the schedule is very regimented. But if you and your wife decide that you want to take it slow, that's also a potential for you.
Okay. Didn't know that was an option, so thanks for your help.
Well, great.
you.
I'm happy
Appreciate
to
it.
help.
Yeah.
Please feel free to call us or come by with your wife. Let's talk it through again, or you can talk with another pharmacist that's on staff.
Okay.
All right.
That
Best of
sounds
luck
great.
to you and your family.
All right. Thank you very much.
Okay.
Thank
Thanks.
you.